Hello, and welcome to the RV Advisors Podcast. I am your host, Kathy Conrad. I have been enjoying the RV lifestyle for 5 years, and I love helping new RVers realize their RV dreams. This podcast is about RV education, resources, adventures, and the amazing people who love RVing. It is also about discovering the freedom RVers experience, the connection with nature we are all so grateful for, and how RVing enriches our lives. On this podcast, you can expect us to talk about all things RV, including the good stuff, the challenging stuff, and everything in between. So join us weekly and enjoy the lineup of guests we have in store for you. Hello RVers! Today I'd like to talk about buying a used RV and pass along some tips that I hope you find helpful. We bought our outdoors RV gently used, and I'm so glad we did. We had already determined what brand we wanted to purchase and the size, and we were open to floor plans based on the research we had done on this brand. And I will let you know that we also had, even though we knew the reputation of the brand and we knew it was a quality build and it was very gently used, we still had a professional inspection for peace of mind. And it did turn out fine, but it's really something that, you wouldn't buy a house without having it inspected. And an RV is a big purchase, so I think it's a good idea. So just, plan on spending that money. And you can find a certified NRVIA inspector at nrvia.org. And you can search for one in your location on that website. And then I would touch base with them and talk to them, look at any reviews that they have or testimonials on their website. Also, you can ask them, how many units have they inspected, get to know them a little bit. And then also, they know that you're looking, and they'll be, you can let them know, well, if this is the person, that you decide on, that you may be calling them because you're looking right now for a used RV. So I'm gonna first start quick with if you're buying used from a dealership. The disadvantage to buying used at a dealership is they do not know necessarily anything about the unit, and they certainly don't know if it's been maintained or not. There's the potential quality control issue on whether or not they really do a good inspection themselves. Their goal is to make money on that unit. So I absolutely would have it inspected if you're buying from a dealership. And if they won't allow it, then move on to somewhere else, because you just don't want to buy somebody else's problem. So that's my advice for buying used at a dealership. Definitely get it inspected. So if you're buying from an individual, which is what we did, so I'm very familiar with this process, is, you're looking online and they have pictures posted. You want to look at that, read everything they have to read. And then either if you can call them or reach out, via email and ask them some questions. And you can get a pretty good idea on whether or not you want to move forward and come out and actually look at it in person. So the kind of things to ask them is if they bought it new or used. And if they bought it new, then certainly they know, what kind of travel it's been through, where it's, been stored, and what maintenance has been done or not. So it's just some helpful information to know. And then ask them how they've used the RV. Did they just buy one to live in while they built a home? Do they, are they weekend warriors? Did they just take it out maybe once or twice a year? Because really sitting isn't great for them either. But it's just good information to have. And then I'd also ask them, where has it been stored? You know, have they stored it on their property in a shop, or under a pole barn, or out in an open field, out in the elements, with potential, you know, rodent issues? And if, you know, or if they've stored it at a storage unit that has covered, you know, it's covered, or stored indoors where it's covered and they have rodent control. And a hugely important question is to ask them what sort of maintenance, regular maintenance, they have done on the unit. And, you know, do they keep a maintenance log? Because I think the goal is, at least for me, was to buy a used RV that had been loved and well taken care of. And that can be, it can be super apparent if it has been, you know, obviously, if it hasn't been taken care of. But when you're looking at the pictures in that initially, if you see any delamination on the unit, which is when the outer walls are bubbling, just don't even consider it, because there's really no repair for that. Or I don't even think it's just not worth it. So don't even go there if you see delamination of the outer walls. And so, you know, if you're looking at the pictures and it's looking pretty clean on the inside and well maintained, you know, when you want to go out there and look at it, that's great. What I might still ask them, besides what kind of maintenance they've done, and if they keep a maintenance log, you know, like, have you gone up on the roof? How often are you going up on the roof? How often are you sealing areas on the roof? Are you conditioning your slide gaskets? Because those, and putting sun protectant on them, those, you know, it's important to maintain those, because that's another place their water can get in. And the tires, are they new? Have they ever replaced them? Because tires, and this is nice because it's, you know, you can know. I mean, a lot of us don't even go out often enough to wear out the tires, but they can age out. So they're really only engineered to last 4 to 6 years, and you can look at the tire and see the manufacture date on it. So that's something to look at, because I mean, that's certainly a resolvable issue. It just, you know, would cost you money if you're going to buy it and have to replace the tires. But a lot of times brand new ones don't come with good tires and you replace them right away anyway. But just be aware of that. And then also, you know, you can ask them, how often are they having the bearings repacked in the wheels? How often do you wash it or wax it? You know, we like to wax ours twice a year. We're out in the elements, so it will make it, you know, protect it better. It'll stay nicer looking longer if it's having a really good wax job a couple times a year, keeping it clean. And then also let them know that, you know, if you come out and you look at it and you're really interested in buying it, you'll want to have a professional inspection done. Are they okay with that? If they're not okay with you getting it inspected, there's probably a reason for that, because it's not going to cost them any money. They just need to give someone access, have it hooked up to power, and be able to, you know, fill the tanks with water so they can check for leaks and what have you. So there might be minimal effort on their part, but it's not going to cost them any money. So if they're adamant about not having it inspected, it's probably a good idea just to move on. Okay, just move on. Lots of used RVs out there are available. And in regards to the inspection, if you're buying a motorized RV, your certified inspector is only going to inspect the systems of the RV. They're not going to inspect the engine or anything like that. So that would be a separate deal for you to have checked out if you want to do that. But they'll check all the systems, you know, the air conditioning, the furnace. They'll test the tanks to make sure they're not leaking. They'll look at your suspension. They'll look underneath. I mean, it's when we had our inspection done, he spent an entire day doing the inspection, and then he provided like a 102-page report that was loaded with photos and little arrows to anything, you know, maybe that needed a little extra sealing or something like that. So worth it to make that investment up front. Like I said, you would not buy a house without having it inspected. Same thing for your RV. It's a relatively small investment, because if there's one big issue that has to be taken care of, that could end up costing more than the inspection did. So, huge proponent of that. So, then when you go out, so if they don't want to have it inspected, maybe, you know, I wouldn't waste your time unless you're already very, very knowledgeable and can do your own inspection. But if they're willing to agree to an inspection and you want to go out and visit take a look at it, which of course you do, things to look for, again, if you see delamination of the exterior walls that you did not see in the picture, just pass it by. And you just want to look for, you know, is it clean? Has it been maintained? Is the exterior looking nice and well kept? You know, are the seals around the slides, are they cracking and dry, or do they look, you know, like they've been protected from the sun? Are the sealant around the windows, is that looking good, or is it melting out of there, which when you're in a lot of heat, that you'll see run, you know, like it starts to run and squish out of the windows. And that should be cleaned up and resealed on a regular basis, just like the roof, your windows, the windows of the RV. So they're going to check, the inspector's going to check the slides, make sure they operate well. All those, there's a lot of details to check. And so, but initially you're looking for how well it was kept up. Ask lots of questions, dig deep, see what you can find out. And you'll know if it's somebody, you trust your gut, you know, if somebody that's been really taking care of it. If they have a maintenance log to produce for you to look at, that's great. If they can rattle it off, you know, what they've done. Trust your gut, you know, on whether or not someone's being honest with you. And if it's looking good so far and you're really serious about it, you know, schedule the inspection and just make sure that they're going to give the access and have power and water available so that they can test everything. And then, you know, if it works out and you have that inspection done and it's checking out well, then you can buy with confidence, you know, that you're not buying someone else's issue. So again, you can check on nrvia.org to find an inspector in your area and have a chat with them as well, and make sure you're comfortable with them and you're within their radius of travel. Get a price and proceed from there. So I hope you found this helpful. The advantages to buying used are you don't take on that initial depreciation that happens as soon as you pull off the lot. And I just think ideally it's gently used, not too old. If it's very, very old, it's even that much more important to have it inspected, you know, because things, you know, do wear out. So good luck to you and enjoy that process. Be a educated consumer before you buy and make such a big investment in an RV. Because once you hit the road, it's time for fun and having a good time and enjoying your travel and meeting amazing people. RV Advisors offers weekly, customized one-on-one consulting services. Our mission is to provide information that will help save you money, save you time, and get you on the road with confidence by shortening the big learning curve associated with RVing. You don't know what you don't know, so let us help you navigate this process and avoid common costly mistakes. We're passionate about RVing and helping you to have the best RVing experience possible. Whether you choose our 8-week, 3 or 6-month package, it will be tailored to your specific needs and meet you where you are on this exciting journey. So reach out via email to Kathy@rvadvisors.net or on Facebook direct messaging for details on our programs. Thank you so much for tuning in today to RV Advisors All Things RV podcast. Please join us again next week for more RV education, resources, adventures, and interesting people. Until then, wishing you amazing adventures, safe travels, and I hope to see you on the road.